Sneaky.
That was long.
We're in Madrid.
Hello from the Madrid airport.
We're traveling for 15 hours.
I decided that it would be really sick if we could bring along a really incredible videographer. So I actually put a feeler out on my Instagram and I met this really cool girl named Christine, and now she's gonna be traveling the world with us. She arrives at the Madrid airport like now. So I've met her once in person, Sage's meeting her for the first time. She's super sick.
I'm off to a great start, by the way. I already told the first Spanish person I interacted with, merci. So.
From Madrid. Oh my goodness, I can barely believe I'm saying that. I did it. I left New York for 2 months, not forever. It's a little clickbaity. And I'm traveling the world with my sister. This has been a lifelong dream. And we specifically decided to do this to kind of create this travel series together, essentially highlighting really badass women and kind of telling their stories and highlighting the culture and the history of different parts of the world, circling the Mediterranean that there's not as much like YouTube content about. And it's really special to get to travel with my sister. We're 4.5 years apart, so we honestly haven't gotten to live together that much of our lives. So it's very exciting to get to do something like this together. I feel like if I've learned anything with the pandemic and just how life has been the past couple years, it's like, you never know what's gonna happen. You've gotta live your life now. There always will be some excuse to not, do the thing that you're excited about or like follow some dream or passion or project. Obviously in this case, this is not a cheap venture. There was a lot of saving that came into this. I sublet my room out in New York, so I'm gone for 2 whole months at least. So I think I'm gonna grab Sage and we'll explain a little bit more about what we're doing. And then let's go see Madrid.
I'm hiding.
Oh, see us there. Hello, howdy, how we doing? So, the title's a bit dramatic, but you know what? It's kind of true. I did indeed pack up my life in New York to travel the world with this one.
Woo!
Little sister trip.
We started talking literally last July when we were in DC with my mom. It was like, you guys should plan a really big trip together. Sage graduates college in May. And I'm an international relations major. I've studied the Mediterranean and Middle East a ton. And I was like, Elena, what if we circumnavigated the Mediterranean? Certain parts of it are super accessible, but then there's this whole other half of that Mediterranean loop that isn't as well documented, I think, from the YouTube, social media side of things. I'm super interested to see the mixing cultures and languages.
The borders are temporary and controversial, and a lot of these regions, even 100, 200 years ago, looked very different border-wise and were interconnected, and so it's super fascinating to see the culture in present day as well as the influences of the past and how it all kind of ties together. I think it's so fascinating. We wanted to kind of take this idea of kind of going on this bucket list trip together, but bringing a really female-focused lens. I feel like the travel space on YouTube is still quite male-dominated. There's some great female travel YouTubers out there, and I think there's a lot of places that aren't as touched on as much on YouTube that we find super interesting, but also we really wanted to highlight learning from women and women's stories in each country and meeting locals and subscribers as much as possible in each destination.
Really want to hear what women are saying on the ground in each of the countries we're going to, which range from mainstream travel destinations,
places where women face different societal obstacles that we perhaps face in the States.
And so we're going to be talking to a mix of I think we'll just try to be meeting up with local random subscribers as well as a few women who we handpick who have really amazing stories that we're so excited to highlight.
And one of our goals is to meet as many of you guys as we can, learn from y'all as we go, hear your stories, learn about the culture through your eyes. We're going to Spain, Greece, Turkey, Lebanon, Tunisia, Morocco, and then back to Spain. We are fully planning this all on our own. We're figuring it out on our own. I saved up to pay for it on my own. And certain parts of the world, I think it can feel really daunting to explore, especially as a woman, but we want to show y'all it is possible and kind of give our tips along the way. The world is so big and beautiful, and there's so many ways to go explore and see it.
I think in the US, especially in my subculture in California and your subculture in New York, there's very much a few set ways, I feel of what it means to be a beautiful woman, a successful woman, an empowered woman, a healthy woman, whatever. And I'm excited to see what that looks like in different cultures and different lenses of what does it mean to be all those things, but in Greece or in Morocco or in Lebanon.
So we're starting off in Madrid today. We kind of picked Madrid last minute as a starting spot. I think it just, for one, it seems like a really fascinating city. It's a great way to kind of start our circumnavigation.
I'm super excited to see it. We're just gonna probably be meeting up with a few local people here and there.
So on that note, I'm gonna finish getting ready and let's go explore Madrid.
Woo!
The camera out. Burger King. You want your burger?
I want a burger.
Great. Hello. Taking a little sweaty break here. Today's sponsor is BetterHelp. I have been working with them for like most of the past year, and I am such a huge fan. I've been using them for years, and so it's so incredible to get to include them in videos. Taking charge of your mental health is so important, and BetterHelp is such a great service to help you do that. It's basically all online therapy with over 20,000 licensed professional therapists to choose from. BetterHelp is also committed to help facilitating the right match, so you can always mix up and change your therapist if you need to. It can be really hard to find a good therapist near you, and it's often more expensive. So doing online therapy is really helpful because it's less expensive than traditional therapy, and it's just so accessible. You can do it from the comfort of your home, which I personally really love. So if you are looking to potentially start therapy, this is your sign. You can join the over 2 million people taking charge of their mental health today by signing up for BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp, which is HELP.com, and get 10% off your first month. So, why are we in Spain, you might ask? Well, why not Spain? We picked Spain somewhat randomly, but geographically it helps form the western gate into the Mediterranean. Alright, time for a brief history. If you've watched my other videos, you know I love a history lesson. So Spain was once under Roman rule, which is when it developed the foundations of religion and language still common throughout Western Europe today. Then, in the 8th century, Muslim conquest coming from North Africa blew through this region, largely taking over in literally 7 years, which is not very long. With this, a lot of Islamic cultural influence rippled throughout the native populations, and a ton of Berber or Amazigh people immigrated from North Africa, which further then mixed the cultures, religions, languages. This is really crucial to the history of this region and why Spain is the way that it is, and I think is fascinating historically for the intertwining of the cultures across the Mediterranean. The Muslim presence came to an end in 1492 with the Reconquista, but today the Arab influence on Spain is still really evident throughout architecture, design, food, and language. I got the ladies in the back. We got Sage, we got Christine. We are currently headed to Hez, I believe. I will link it down below. To meet Rachel. She is a subscriber, and she DM'd me on Instagram and she was like, hey, you need a local tour guide? And I was like, yeah, I do. And so we are gonna go grab tapas with her, and she's gonna show us around a little bit. Let's go get some food. I'm hungry. We're excited.
Moved here like the minute I graduated college. I was like, oh, muchas gracias. I got the ración de croquetas. I think these are jamón, and these are like trufa and boletus, which is trufa, truffle.
I like that.
So I got both the dried tomato, basil, and parmesan.
So what do you love about Madrid specifically?
I would say like the terrace culture. All the tables outside, and they're just packed. And people, they're not there for 30 minutes, 1 hour. No, they're there for 5 hours. And they're just ordering drinks, ordering food, so much socializing. And I think that's the best part. Lasagna. This is the vintage shop street. Best place to come vintage shopping. I would say this one's actually one of my favorites.
Just had the most delightful little takeout in the park. This park is what dreams are made of, I swear. There's like the moon off in the horizon. There's so many different types of trees. There's so many great people to people watch. Oh, These are often my favorite moments while traveling. It's just like sitting down at a local spot, people watching, you know, seeing what's going on with the locals. A very great way to spend our first like half day in Madrid.
C'est la grande arme de la coquetterie vertueuse, parce qu'on peut tout dire avec un regard. Et puis après, on peut toujours nier ce regard-là.
So today is our first full day in Madrid. We're gonna go out explore. We really want to see some of the historical parts of Madrid. I think we're gonna meet up with some Spanish gals later today too, and kind of hear what it's like and see some of their favorite spots as a local, as well as go out and hit the town. Also, I'm very proud of myself. I managed to pack for 2 whole months in one checked bag. That is a accomplishment for me. Like, I like a fit. I like to look cute, a little fashionable moment. My biggest packing trick is packing cubes. Please get yourself packing cubes. They make life so much easier. That way, when I get somewhere new, because I'm changing locations every 5 days for like 2 months, I can be like, where are my tank tops at? Where are my shorts at? And they're all here, squared away. This is a lifesaver.
Si c'est la fin, si c'est la fin, si c'est la fin des remords, alors je te
Where are we at? Hi everybody, my name is Tour Guide Sage, aka I spent a lot of time reading before we got here. This is the Palacio Real de Madrid. The main palace here used to be the site actually of a Moorish or like Muslim era giganto castle fortress thing called the ALCAZAR, and was then built in the 1600s by King Philip II, third, something along those lines.
And that's why I bring her along.
Yes, her resident history nerd.
Check this out.
Okay, thanks. This is Prince Philip something. He started having a very red face. All the articles I was reading were like, what's wrong with his complexion? Poor little tomato. Look at him, poor guy. Oh, he's cute. I feel like because I've been to many palaces and museums and such, which is the case if you've traveled to Europe at all, it's like you tend to see quite a bit and they kind of start to blend together. But this royal palace is exceptional here. We were blown away at how ornate the rooms are. Like, it was so much more extra than I expected. Like, this guy, Arguably more extra than like Versailles.
yes, which I was not expecting.
More than I've ever seen.
We were kind of like, do I go in, do we not? And I'm really glad we did.
Philip something something.
No, something.
Fourth,
He had quite the ornate taste, that is for sure.
Yes.
Christine. It was a cute man right there. Hello, cute sir. Goodbye. We are currently on our way to go meet a gal named Anita, a subscriber who has lived in Madrid for 7 years, and she offered to show us around and talk a little more about Madrid.
This is Christine.
So Madrid has been short and sweet. We ended our evening by meeting up with 2 local Spanish gals who reached on Instagram, Andrea and Anita. Our time in Madrid is particularly short, so it was really lovely to have some locals give us a tour.
You can find people like eating on the ground and like the sun and everything, groups of friends. We can walk a little bit around.
Let's do it, yeah. Walk, we can get a drink a little bit. We ultimately landed at a little outdoor terrace and ordered sangria as you do, and asked them about what it's like to live here, especially as young women. We learned they love, of course, its bustling social scene, the laid-back terrace culture, but they also shared the harder parts, such as the low salaries while inflation and cost of living keeps rising. I think it was really helpful to learn this too because it gives more of a nuanced light about what it means to be Spanish and live in Spain. A lot of times, us Americans take a little summer European trip and have this dreamy idea of what it's like to live there without actually taking time to understand both sides of the spectrum. Madrid was a great, very chill launching pad before we officially start our journey along the Mediterranean. We have got a long road ahead of us on this crazy endeavor for the next 40 days, and I'm so curious to see how our time in Spain compares to the rest of it.